ahorita a principios del año 2022 y es un proyecto increíble y muy impactante. Ya no estamos esperando los fondos federales, ya no estamos asustados de los desarrolladores. Siempre la gente, los políticos tenían miedo de hablar con los desarrolladores. Lo que hicimos nosotros desde que llegamos fue decir, mire, hay que crecer de una manera inteligente, si no, todos nos vamos a inundar. Y instituimos un requerimiento, normas estrictas para la detención de agua. O sea que cuando los desarrolladores construyen tienen que detener suficiente agua en una cuenca de detención para no ir a desplazar más agua a otras áreas del condado. Aquí vemos la acción de este proyecto. Es un proyecto de 100 millones de dólares que va a ayudar a que estas comunidades no se inunden durante un evento de inundación de 100 años. Esta comunidad se inundó durante el huracán Harvey, durante la tormenta tropical Allison. Esos fueron eventos aún menos comunes que el evento de 100 años. Y esto va a ayudar al menos a 1000 casas que ya no estén dentro de ese plano de inundación de 100 años. Estamos construyendo una cuenca de detención de 75 hectáreas. Ahí caben 100 campos de fútbol americano con una profundidad de 1 pie. También estamos ampliando el Bayou. Hemos ampliado ciertos puentes que estaban limitando, causando un cuello de botella cuando pasaba el agua. Y esto es lo que se ve cuando vemos progreso. No vamos a cambiar todo de la noche a la mañana. Como saben, la ciudad maneja el drenaje, el condado maneja los bayous. Entonces todavía falta el trabajo de drenaje, que está trabajando mucho la concejal aquí en eso, pero aún sin modernizar el drenaje, igual este proyecto va a causar una diferencia, un impacto muy positivo a esta comunidad. Y siempre hay que pedirle a todos que recuerden el seguro contra inundaciones. Cada que se inunda la comunidad, siempre hay personas que dicen, nunca jamás se había inundado mi casa antes. Todos vivimos a 50 pies de nivel del mar. Entonces, si usted vive en este condado y puede financieramente pagar por eso, seguro contra inundaciones es absolutamente vital. Entonces, hoy celebramos esta priorización. Primero se ponen las personas más impactadas, lo que llamamos el plan Worst First. No se trata de quién conoce a alguien en la política ni quién tiene la casa más cara. Esta área de bajos recursos que se inunda cada que llueve está viendo resultados y resultados muy impactantes. Thank you so much. We'll hear from Councilmember Jackson and then Commissioner Ellis. Councilman.
Thank you, Judge, and thank you, Commissioner Ellis, and all the residents from my district who's here and excited about these projects. You know, I should be in public session right now as a council member, and hearing from Houstonians is one of the most important aspects of my job. But even more important is doing something to respond to their concerns. And that's why we're here, and that's why I'm here instead. Without a doubt, flooding is one of the biggest concerns for District B. Every time there's a rain in the forecast, I break for calls from constituents who see their streets flooding, their lawns flooding, and water coming into their house. It's been my fight since Hurricane Ike tore the roofs of so many homes. I'm proud of what the community did to organize and to make sure that policy and dollars were being spent to address the flooding within our neighborhoods. Making our communities resilient to rain, storms, and hurricanes is a big problem that no one person, one agency, one office can solve, and it's going to take all of us to address the flooding. And I want to do my part to be part of the team that's making moves to move us towards more resiliency, equitable resiliency. I know that in my office at the right time right now is being here with Judge Hidalgo and the mayor, because we got allies that's committed to making sure that we address the flooding within these neighborhoods. Now, the Huntington Bayou project is a great example of getting these things done. Project Hunting is a $100 million flood damage reduction project under construction along Huntington Bayou from US 59 to downstream of North Wayside. This project is excavating a stormwater detention basin on a 75-acre site near the northeast corner of Homestead Road and Loop 610, widening and deepening the approximately 4 miles of Huntington Bayou and replacing or modifying approximately 20 bridges. Best of all, this project will remove 4,450 homes and businesses from the 100-year floodplain. Of course, this project will not solve all of our flooding problems, but the city has to do its part as well. And I'm committed to doing what I can to make sure that our ditches and culverts are clear and put on a regular maintenance and trying to put these ditches on a regular maintenance schedule. Putting that burden on residents has not worked for us. So we shouldn't spend $100 million to fix a Bayou and not make the needed investment to keep our ditches and culverts clean, and that's what I'm committed to doing. And so I'd like to end by congratulating everyone here for this project. Again, we are looking forward to the continued partnership, and we're looking forward to having neighborhoods that do not flood every time it rains. Thank you.
So I'm Rodney Ellis. I'm glad to be here with my county judge and and also the city councilwoman. I think an appropriate question would be, why has it taken so long to get the project in this neighborhood? It's because historically Harris County has operated using language where we would chase federal dollars based on a benefit to cost ratio. That means that we were prioritizing property values over people. I'm glad that so many people from this neighborhood here, I want to give Pastor and all of you, I won't call your names out, give yourselves a round of applause. You voted for it, you asked for it for years. Judge, according to my notes, is 1,600 homes that will not flood as a result of this project. I want you to know where the money came from. $60 million, 61%, $60 million came from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. That is the result of our federal partners doing as much as they could. $39,177,000 comes from that Harris County flood package, about 39% of it. Now, we still have a long way to go, as the judge alluded to. When we voted on this package, we did have language that called for equity guidelines. And Judge Hidalgo, I want to commend you and your staff for the language you came up with. I had a little clout, and I could leverage to say we ought to have equity guidelines to get away from benefit to cost, the cost-benefit ratio. But I wasn't going to argue about how we define it. You and your staff came up with the language that we use, and that's why this $100 million project will get done. We still have other challenges in the area. The three main watersheds that flood all the time, not some of the time, all the time, would be Hunting, Greens, and Halls, because our state partners have not delivered. We expected $1 billion going to the county and $1 billion going to the city. As the judge and the council member alluded to, our job is to get it, once it gets to the Bayou, get it to the Gulf of Mexico. The city's responsibility is primarily to get it from the houses, from the neighborhoods, from the drains into the Bayou. We're doing as much as we can to try and help our city partners, but you all need your $1 billion.
Yeah, we need our
and we still fighting for our $1 billion. And we've done a good job. About $750 has been committed. We have an item on this next court's agenda when we meet after Thanksgiving to talk about the Water Development Board. They've issued about $750 million, committed $750 million in federal money that the state controls. Alan, we got how much? 10? $3.8 million. So we'll have a discussion about that next, but we still have a long way to go. So I hope that our state partners will deliver for us, give us the money that the federal government intended for us. Lastly, Judge Hidalgo, thank you for coming back on a regular basis to Cashmere Gardens. It is a great neighborhood. And council members, always good to be with you. We had a bike ride this weekend. Sometimes I can't ride in her district because there's always gimme, gimme, gimme. But she's committed, so I'm glad to be here. Judge, thank you.
Thank you. We'll take any questions.
Judge, can you comment on the serving of subpoenas on the Elevate Strategies contract?
You guys know it's a legal issue, so I wish I could. I wish I could say a whole lot, but I really can't because it's an ongoing legal issue. The only thing I can say is we have always followed the law. We always follow the law, and we will continue to follow the law. And I'm afraid I just can't say anything else because it's an ongoing legal
But
issue.
Judge, to you and Commissioner Ellis as well, it's not just a legal issue, it's an integrity issue. The serving of these subpoenas question both of your integrity as it relates to this contract. Can you stand up for that, and how worried are you about what the DA may find in the documents she's seeking?
I wish I could say more, Ted, but I can't, as you know, on these legal issues. So if I'll say I'll just say, what I mentioned, and that is on advice of all the folks who know the law is I really can't say anything else other than I always have followed the law. I always will continue to follow the law, and that's all I can say.
Commissioner Ellis?
Yes.
Do you how concerned are you about what the DA may find and what she seeks, and how concerned are you about the role you played in the awarding of this contract?
As the judge said, it is a legal matter. I have Rusty Harden, who will represent me. I will cooperate. I'm sure the judge will cooperate, and anyone else. But beyond that, the first thing I learned when I was in law school, TSU undergrad, UT's law school, was follow the advice of your lawyers. So you cooperate, but beyond that, you just don't comment on it.
Rusty Harden's never turned down a chance for an interview. But maybe you could tell us, how worried are you about what you did?
Not at all.
Do you have any questions about the flood project? When will it open? When will the water start flowing?
So it should be spring of 2022. But already the Bayou widening obviously has an impact. The detention basin will be done, and then the bridges, the 17 bridges, is it, Alan, that are working underneath them. So all of those will get, the water flows underneath the bridges. So if the bridges are too low, it creates a bottleneck, and so this will eliminate that bottleneck. And in the spring, we'll see an initial difference, and then every time there's additional drainage work, we'll see more of an impact. But already this should have an impact on this community that's been left behind for a really long
Something
time.
you can talk about. As we speak right now, Commissioners Cagle and Ramsey are announcing a lawsuit challenging your redistricting plan. Your thoughts there? Are you worried about that?
Same. If it's a lawsuit, I've not seen it, so you're just delivering me this news. But anything to do with lawsuits, litigation, if anything that we say, the lawyers might then say, you're really not supposed to comment. That all has to go through the court system because that's how the system is designed. So I'll take a look. Thanks for letting me know. But I'm afraid I just can't comment on litigation-related issues.
One more question over here.
I had one bond question. So we are almost 3 years into the bond program. How would you best sum up the progress so far for residents, and how would you address their concerns that projects may be altered in the near future, or at some point the Flint Republic might not have enough money to complete the entire bond program?
Yeah, look, one piece is getting the bond program done. And in that sense, we are working day and night, not without obstacles, right? One obstacle was, we had been promised $1 billion, and then we were told we're not going to receive them anymore, and we fought and got that back up to $750 million, but that $750 million is yet to arrive. So we have found other ways to plug those gaps, using toll road funding, being as smart as we can and maximizing every dollar. And the directive that not just I, but all of the members of court have given our flood control district and our county administrator is, we promised that we would see these projects through. They're going to take funding. So let's move heaven and earth to get the funding we need to see the programs through, to see the projects through. And we're still well on our way to that. We are not by any means in a situation where we won't have the money to do those. But we're keeping a very close eye on that because that depends on the $750 million arriving. And we'll keep an eye on that. Then the other question is flooding writ large. It doesn't matter how much money it comes through or when it comes through, so long as people who normally flood don't flood. And that is the bigger picture that we're zooming out on. We saw the Meyerland area when Hurricane Tropical Storm Beta. They should have flooded. They would have flooded if Bryce Bayou hadn't been so well underway. That is, similar issue here. After this is done, there will be less impacts. It's not going to go away, but there's going to be less impacts. In order for us to be truly resilient, we will need more money. That flood bond was published, the amount before we made it when Commissioner Ellis was in the minority. Everybody will tell you that should have been a much bigger number. But whoever, political leaders at the time thought it was a politically expedient number to select 2.5. I don't know why. And so that's part of the question we're asking is how much more and what more will it take? But already the projects are making a difference. We are moving them as quickly as we can. We are not afraid to work with the developers and deliver the hard truths and make sure that they're doing their part. We're not afraid of getting other jurisdictions to do their part, and we're going to be continuing to push for the area to be truly resilient. But of course, it doesn't happen overnight. So what I'll say is we're doing a lot better. We're working to get all the funding, and we're continuing to ask what's next. I'm not going to pretend like it's all solved because it's not. And I'm not pretending like $2.5 billion is enough because it's not. So that's why it's a day for celebration, but also to say let's keep working. Yeah.
Lina's going to take the last question, and then we're going to wrap up.
Nuestro primer comentario, dos preguntas. Primero, un comentario sobre la demanda de redistribución del distrito presentada por los comisionados Bayou y Wellesley, y aparte, con este proyecto a largo plazo, ¿cuáles son las comunidades que se verán beneficiadas tras un huracán, por ejemplo, tan fuerte como fue el Harvey en el 2017?
Sí, en cuanto a la redistribución, esa demanda acaba de llegar, no la he visto, y realmente temas legales, temas de demandas, no me es posible comentar porque es un tema judicial. Entonces me gustaría decir más, pero hasta ahí puedo dejar mi comentario y pues ya veremos todo a través de las cortes. En cuanto a este proyecto beneficia principalmente al área de Kashmir Garden. Es un área que no se inunda de vez en cuando, se inunda siempre que llueve. Entonces, así hemos priorizado los proyectos, los que más se inundan, donde más impacto tengan los proyectos de control de inundaciones, allí trabajaremos y esta área es una de esas. Falta trabajo de drenaje por parte de la ciudad, pero ya este trabajo ya ayudará un poco el tema de inundaciones.
¿Para cuándo se verá luz a estos beneficios del proyecto?
El proyecto se termina ahorita en la primavera del 2022, es uno de los primeros proyectos que vamos a terminar. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you all. Don't do all that hugging now.
Thank you.
Don't do all that hugging.
Thank you so
Do what
much.
you say.
All right, please.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Yeah, thank you. We're glad you're here. We on together, all three of us. Good deal. Good deal, man. We hope this works.
I'll walk out here. Oh, yeah, she ride a bike. I don't know how to touch you.
You know how to ride? Yes, I do.
I had to grab my head. My precinct was kept tight on my head. I get a headache. Yeah, I should have put that Astro cap. How you doing?
who's the homeowner, and then Fred is another guy that works with her. And like they've got like a whole plan on what the city county can do to help alleviate the flooding in their area. So that could be a good Dayside or